How you doing? This is Synoptic and I'm doing commentary for MTW2 Total War. I'm playing as the Moors using 2 handgunners, 5 dismounted Christian guards, 3 lambs and a spearman, 4 Christian guards, 1 bodyguard and 3 Jeanettes. My opponent, King Heinrich, playing as Russia, is using 5 dismounted Dvor, 3 spearmen, 4 dismounted Boyarsons, 4 dismounted Drazinas, 1 bodyguard and 3 Drazinas. So in my 10 battles so far, this is the first time my opponent has actually advanced on me, so we're both going to attack each other. Noticing his archers, I have to take the fight to him as fast as possible. I'm sending 2 heavy cavalry. I do a fake charge here because he reinforces that area with spearmen way too fast. On this side he doesn't, however, so I'm free to charge this archer. But also note that these Russian archers in particular can fight almost as well as normal infantry. And I'm starting my flanking with 2 Christian guards and 3 Jeanettes on the right flank. I'm also forming a small flanking force on my left. But also note the red line here. I'm going to be very restricted in my movement. Hearing my handgunners here, you can see a spearmen routing. They only lost about 10 men, but they attempted to charge handgunners, which isn't a good idea with low morale units. And what you see now is my charge with my heavy infantry, which is currently being met by spearmen, and on this side, all his heavy infantry. He's retreating all his archers at this point. And I've made my push with all my cavalry on the left. I've routed a heavy cavalry unit. On this side, I'm doing simple bait here. I'm just pulling his units with my missile cavalry, the perfect unit to do this. So my objective with this heavy cavalry is just to keep them out of the main fight. Over here you can see a Christian guard charging them. So I pulled this Drazina in particular out as far as possible with missile cavalry into a Christian guard trap. So here you can see another Drazina actually charging. So as long as I keep these guys out of the main fight, I'll be safe. I'm already routing this Drazina, the one that I baited. Also note I have a Grenadine Jeanette here. This one, I was keeping this unit at bay temporarily. Okay, now this fight is kind of getting fierce and it's fast becoming a mess. I have 2 lines of fighting in a very small area. One here and one here. And in the gap I have a handgunner. So I'm actually trying to reinforce this area because it's extremely weak. In the nick of time I reinforce my guys there. So you can see this dismounted Boyarson just routing. Not to mention I've already sent a Christian guard in here. So this encirclement's underway in the middle, but on his left and my right, he's got some forces left. But my left push was extremely violent and aggressive. I had reinforced this area with one of my Jeanettes against his bodyguard and some heavy cavalry.
We must pray they lose their will to fight.
So making very fast pushes on the left and the middle, as well as distracting his only real threat on the main body, which is his heavy cavalry. I was free to destroy his main body. In this defeat,
Victories are like sweet nectar. Come, let us drink of the most rare and glorious fruit.
Fruit. So, keeping all his cavalry at bay, making multiple pushes, allowed me to destroy all his cavalry and pretty much clip him with his wings, so he couldn't really do anything at this point. Pretty much a good time to admit defeat. Good game to King Heinrich. Right, now in this battle, I'm using Portugal with 5 dismounted Portuguese knights, 2 swordsman militia, 2 spear militia, 3 javelins, 5 heavy cavalry, a bodyguard, 1 crossbow cavalry, and 2 Jeanettes. My opponent, Igor Kir, playing as England, is obviously in a very defensive position with his stakes, with 4 yeoman archers, along with a vast amount of spears and heavy infantry, along with 3 units of heavy cavalry and in general. Firstly, I'm just going to send up a spearman unit to absorb the fire while I start distracting. Over here is a pretty obvious trap in my eyes. I send 2 Jeanettes just to pull this English knight out of the way. But if you note my maneuver, this all happens in less than 5 seconds, but it might seem like forever. It seemed like forever to me. So I've surrounded this unit, pretty much
Our men are under attack.
Pentagram of hate.
We need to act.
Thank you, narrator. Anyway, this unit is going to rout, and I'm going to kill all of them as this Jeanette comes in. He's already reinforcing this area with Armored Sergeant, yeoman archer, and 2 cavalry, 1 including his general's bodyguard. So at this point I'm going to make a push.
Our men are under attack! We need to act!
I really have to turn that off. I got my dismounted knights coming in. I'm going to focus all my attack on the left side of his body, because he has way more infantry than me. So at this point I'm just going to send up my cavalry on this side. So now all his reinforcements have gotten here. And also noticing he had the yeoman archer temporarily vulnerable, I charged it, and he reinforced this again with a billman. So he's sending out a lot of his units over here. Unfortunately, all my men here consist of horses, whereas his don't, so I'm free to just run away whenever I want to. I'm already routing that armored sergeant, and I'm going to route this heavy cavalry over here quite quickly as well. So engaged here, I'm pretty sure I would lose if I don't do anything. They're practically the same units, both dismounted knights. Here's some swordmen where I have a slight advantage with my Portuguese knights. I charged this English knight over here, possibly taking advantage of micromanagement as I was heavily fighting the area in the far background. So at this point I'm going to do my hammer and anvil charges. And over here you can see one of my Portuguese knights. They got heavily shot by 2 units of archers on the way. So I got my cavalry just running amok behind them, destroying everything. And at this point I'm going to start running away from this fight. I've done enough damage, and at this point it's way too much of a waste of resources. All that heavy cavalry just to fight a general and some billmen is just a waste of time. So I got all my cavalry just here. I'm forcing him to collapse his body in, and right now it's proving quite effective. He's got him right on my flank, but this all comes down to maneuver now. So here I'm going to destroy that
Only
English knight.
half the enemy force remains.
So at this point I've destroyed half his army. He's got mostly units in his right, to which I'm going to destroy as fast as possible. He's got a yeoman here. I was surprised that they didn't rout on contact from my spears, but I'm going to hammer and anvil them anyway. So I've got pockets of fighting all over the place. This is due to his reinforcement. He had to split up his army to harass me.
It is unwise to praise the day before sunset, but our men are winning the battle and forging a worthy victory.
Worthy, shut up. So basically, in all my fights so far in this game, every player seems to just go heavy on the arquebuses or muskets. So I only really play High Period now, which does not contain any of those units. Because as an Empire Total War player, I'm quite familiar with muskets and all the gunpowder units, and it's very easy to kill them in this game. So here's some more hammer and anvil, and I'm doing that a lot now. Seeming as all his men are just scattered, there's no real threat at this point. So I just banked right, pulled units out, again like in the first video, and just crushed his left as well. I charged his left as well in this one. And I sent my left and right into the middle, neglecting the units that I was currently fighting there. So I think that confused him. So it left a lot of units over here behind. You can see him routing now, but he had to send those back after reinforcing.
Lord preserve us! We have lost half of our men!
Really? So typically, the last unit on the fight is his general, and there it goes. So another heavy assault video, this time against a defensive player. Good game to Igor Kier. Thanks for watching.